like a little bit more? Great. Okay, my name is Paul DeRigo. I am one of the founding members of Concerned Taxpayers Against LIPA. We did a similar event at the gazebo in the village of Northport not too long ago, and it went off extremely well. We heard feedback that it would be great to reach out directly to the people in the community of East Northport, so we are here today to do that as well. We're lucky enough today to be joined by John Kennedy, who is the Suffolk County Controller and candidate for County Executive. Thank you for coming. And Jim Gorin, our state senator, representing this community. Jim has been working tirelessly on behalf of the Northport East Northport community for quite some time on this, working like a dog in Albany on our behalf. So thank you, Mr. Gorin. Jim's got to run, so he's going to make a few comments. Mr. Kennedy will make a few comments. I'd like to address the group for 5-10 minutes at the most. You're going to be on with your beautiful Saturday by no later than 11 o'clock. I'm sure earlier than that. But again, thank you for coming. Mr. Gorin, would you like to speak? You want to start or no?
Well, thank you very much. I'm not going to go into how devastating this would be for our school district, for our town, and quite frankly, Long Island, because you all know that. I'm going to just tell you that we need to continue to fight, and this is why it is so important that you have the new signs and you're out here pushing this. Because up in Albany, I was able to pass through the state Senate legislation that would have taken away LIPA's and National Grid's ability to collect any back taxes. I was able to get a unanimous vote. And the reason I was able to get a unanimous vote, it wasn't easy, because there was heavy lobbying coming from LIPA. And I went and I talked to all my colleagues, and some of them, including from Long Island, were concerned a little bit about the issue because of some of the misrepresentations that we're getting every single day from LIPA, which, by the way, all those advertisements we are paying for. And I pointed out to them that this isn't just about Northport. This isn't just about Huntington. This is about all of Long Island, because LIPA has very clearly stated that they intend to go after every square inch of property on Long Island that they own, whether it's a power station, whether it's transmission lines, whatever it is, to try to do the same thing, which means that every community on Long Island is going to be impacted by this issue, which means every school district could be facing significant hikes if they win, and that is why we continue to need to fight. So we have to keep up the fight. We're going to go back to Albany, try to get the Assembly to pass it, but everybody here needs to just keep fighting as hard as you are, and this is what's going to do it, because we have to stand up to their misrepresentations and just try to build this as a Long Island-wide movement, because it really is going to be the only way we're going to be able to save this. So I thank you very much, Paul. Thank you so much for your leadership and for everybody who's coming out, and enjoy the day.
Okay, thanks very much. I would like to say that Jim Gorin is a Democrat. John Kennedy is a Republican. This is a non-partisan. We as a community will embrace those who stand with us. Full stop. There's nothing to do with party politics here. We are a community under siege, and we will align with those politicians who support our effort. To that end, I'd like to introduce John Kennedy.
Well, thank you so much, and good morning, everybody. And Nice to be with you on a day where we're not in a deluge, but nevertheless, I'm happy to be here to talk to you about what in fact LIPA's posture with Suffolk County is right now from the mechanic side. You folks know I'm your comptroller. You folks know a comptroller is the money man. Let me tell you that right now, LIPA has elected not to pay its bills to the County of Suffolk to the tune of $25 million. Over the last 4 years, rather than paying their tax bill, they've elected to engage in some hocus pocus and say they're limited and will pay and pick only the amount they want to. So guess who's got a lien against LIPA? Me. Guess who said I'll foreclose on their property? Me. Guess who went to court because they said I can't? So here we are already engaged in litigation on that side. Now we come to the plans and the grievances and what it would do to this community. Let's be very, very, very clear. $650 million or $700 million is more than Suffolk County has ever borrowed, has ever been in a particular financial market with. And quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, I'm head scratching to see whether or not we could go in and actually fulfill that obligation. But more importantly, talking about money at that level is simply a failure. It's a failure on the part of an appointed agency to listen to the customers they were appointed to serve. Flat out, tone deaf, and a hostile posture where they're charged in simply delivering a basic service. Keeping the lights on, having electricity, having our 1.5 million people be able to have the essential elements we need in our community. The range is immeasurable from these young grandbabies here to the seniors that live in our senior communities, particularly out east, that are all electric. The impact, as the senator said, would be island-wide and it would be devastating. So, the governor has to tell this board to stop with the posture of ignoring what their appointment and mission is, to open up their eyes, open up their ears, engage in some genuine, meaningful discussion here, come to an amicable solution that will smooth out where we're at, and everybody moves on and does what they need to do. That's the posture I'm here to support. That's the posture I'm supporting for you now as your comptroller, and that's the posture I'll continue to support going forward. It's that simple, folks. I'm confident that they will hear what's coming from the neighborhoods and coming from the communities. And by the way, just a note about East Northport. I grew up here, ladies and gentlemen. I played ball on that field about 55 years ago. So I got a fond place in my heart for East Northport and Northport and a great quality of life that you have here. As long as you got me, folks, I'm going to stand firm against anything that's going to undermine that. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I am not a politician, and I can speak even more plainly. I think what everyone in this community needs to understand, if you've heard me say it again, say it before, I apologize. The Long Island Power Authority is run by 9 appointees. They are all political appointees. 5 of the 9 appointees are appointed by Governor Andrew Cuomo. He controls the Long Island Power Authority. He alone has the power to intervene on our behalf to stop this. He chooses not to because he has a different agenda. We need to change the agenda for him to make him recognize that there are real people being impacted by this. When I say real people and real dollars, if your average tax bill is $10,700, which is the average taxpayer's property tax bill in our community, when the settlement period is over, when the offered settlement is, when that period is over, your tax bill will go from $10,700 to $15,400. My taxes are $14,100. My taxes are going to go to $21,000. Those are real dollars from real people. I may be able to afford to stay here. We'll see. There are people in this community for whom that is an untenable situation. Therefore, we need to make that untenable situation untenable for those elected officials who do not align with us. We're here today because we care. We're here today because we want to be part of the movement. We have made tremendous progress in Albany, in Hauppauge, in all of the elected officials' offices in our region. We need to do more. We need to make more progress. We can make more progress. But by the way, let me take a step back because I'm a numbers guy. The Long Island Power Authority started with about $7 billion worth of debt. Their debt has gone in one direction ever since they were formed over 20 years ago. Their debt is now $10.5 billion. Standard & Poor's says their debt is going to be $13.5 billion by 2022. The move to renewable energy, and you've heard me say this, some people, is something that I think is a good thing. But there is a cost to that. And to make no mistake about it, the Long Island Power Authority does not have the money to fund this initiative to renewable energy. That's why they're coming after us so aggressively. We have a new and improved website that we need everybody to go to, and we need you to go to your friends, and we need to go to your neighbors and your friends at work. It's stoplipanow.com. Through that website, you can directly reach Steve Ballone, you can directly reach Andrew Cuomo, you can directly reach 14 other legislators, and you can get on their radar, and you can have their aides tick off, okay, these people really care about this, and they're not going to stop. What people need to know is we are not going to stop. Yes, we had a bad outcome up in Albany with the legislation. No, we're not going to stop fighting. Many people who have been very, very connected to this from the beginning have always said the solution is political. It's not legislative. It's not judicial. The solution is political. When we think about the Long Island Power Authority, we think about it as a political animal, a political body. The Long Island Power Authority has a mandate for its CEO. We want you to have above average customer service levels and below average electricity rate increases. That's the only way you do that is by layering on more and more debt. LIPA is a political body. We need to exert maximum political influence. There are about 100 or more of us here today, but we need to spread that, right, physically. So we are going to ask everyone to walk home today with 2 or 3 lawn signs. Please ask your neighbor if you can put it on their lawn. When you're hanging out with your friends this weekend, give them your phone and say, here's the app or here's the website. I need you to put in your email address and your home address so that your letter goes up to Albany. So you can do it, but you can multiply your effect very, very easily by handing somebody your phone and asking them to spend 30 seconds. Ask them for 30 seconds of their time, and you can be a multiplier for our effort. So to repeat it again, stoplipanow.com. All right, you can get there from, and by the way, if you're not on Concerned Taxpayers Against LIPA on Facebook, please go there. Go to Stop LIPA Now on Facebook. It will be available for you in one click to get there. If you haven't invited all your friends to be on the page, I'm shocked. I still see new people from Northport and East Northport coming into the fold. If everybody could just add one new member this weekend, that can also have a multiplier effect. So that is the ask of everybody.
I have a question, sir. Mr. Dorigo.
There's a question.
You indicated that Cuomo, or at least could make this go away. What about our own senator, Senator Flanagan, who, if I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, one of the appointed members on LIPA is from Senator Flanagan. Am I incorrect? Did he go away, that appointee?
I don't know. I don't know the answer. The question is
when he was majority of the Senate. So I would ask, he's right down the road from us, yes? Closer than Albany. Should we also confer with him?
Senator Flanagan was a co-sponsor of Senator Gorin's bill.
But he appointed one of the members. So doesn't he have pull as appointed one of the LIPA?
The question is, does Senator Flanagan have more pull with the LIPA board?
No, that's right. Or has pull. Does he have pull?
We don't know. We know that Governor Cuomo controls 5 of the 9.
But he controls one of them, presumably.
Thank you, Jordan. Okay, so thanks everybody. You know what? Let's just leave it at that. On your way out, please grab a Stop LIPA Now sign. This weekend, from our page, go to stoplipanow.com, hand your phone to a friend, and because this is what we do, because we are activists and we are passionate about this, and because there might just be 1 or 2 cameras here today, we love to do our favorite 30-second chant, right, which is stoplipanow.com. If I can do it up here all by myself, we can all do it for just a minute. Could everyone grab a sign as they do it? Right, there's a protector. And thank you to my wife who ran home to grab flyers. On the way out, we are going to hand you a few flyers. Please, on this beautiful weekend, go out and introduce yourself to a neighbor you've never met before. Hand them the flyer, which will drive them to our Facebook page, which will increase engagement.
Go to Flanagan's house right now.
Stop! Seriously, where these 5 appointees live, why don't we go to that place? Is that illegal?
We're thinking about it. We've chosen to.
Wait, go to Flanagan first, and then go to Cuomo. We'll bring Flanagan to Cuomo.
Okay. Right.
It's in Northport somewhere. We'll hunt them down. Let's go knocking on doors.
Ready? Stop LIPA now!
Stop LIPA now! Stop LIPA now! Stop LIPA now! Stop LIPA now! Stop LIPA now! Stop LIPA now! Stop LIPA now! Stop LIPA now! Stop LIPA now! Stop LIPA now! Stop LIPA now! Stop LIPA now! Stop LIPA now! Stop LIPA now! Stop LIPA now! Stop LIPA now! Stop LIPA now! Stop LIPA now! Stop LIPA now! Stop LIPA!
Great job, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you. Keep up the fight. Keep up the fight. Spread the word. Grab a flyer. My wife's going to give you flyers. Take those flyers.
Thank you, Paul. Whoever wants to go to Flanagan's, let's go. I got the coffee. He's closer than Cuomo.